too old. I really am. Um, but Sheena says not just that. Uh, it's not just the VPR cast that's traumatized by LVP. She said she specifically is traumatized by LVP. And she's saying that she has a trauma response every time that LVP calls. And LVP recently called her. And first thing she thinks as she picks up the phone is her trauma response. What did I do wrong? And she always thinks, what did I do wrong? And the last time LVP called, according to Scheana, who wants to sell books, LVP wanted to know about Marciano, Vanderpump Villa employee, and Demi from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Are you guys watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? Well, anyone that watched Vanderpump Villa, now there are rumors that it wasn't Demi, that it was another one of the wives that hooked up with Marciano. For those of you who do not watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives or Vanderpump Villa, you may not give a fuck about what I'm talking about. But it's we had two of the employees on this podcast. Like Demi has done interviews and has said, like, I can't talk about this. It's actually going to get ugly. Apparently, there are cease and desists all over the place, and there are lawsuits which are coming. She implies, Demi, that she was, basically harassed by Marciano, and he came on to her and wouldn't take no for an answer. And those are serious charges. So Marciano, lawyer up. I think Demi has more money than you, but you got to get a lawyer if this is taking place. And I wouldn't talk about it either. But according to Scheana, who's doesn't realize what she's doing, she's now inserting herself in the middle of a potential lawsuit. According to her, LVP called and said, I need to know exactly what happened between Marciano and Demi. How is it that Sheena is on the valley walking with Michelle and apparently knows about Jesse getting offered to or paid $2,500 from a gay guy who he says is just his friend? I don't know. Gay for pay. Listen, if I was going to pay $2,500 for someone, it would not be Jesse Lally. Let me just put that on the record there. It actually wouldn't be any of the men on the fucking Valley cast. They give a run for their money. And Luca's a nice guy, but no thanks. Anyway, I'm lost in the weeds again. It turns out now Sheena apparently knows about that and Michelle and this and this Michelle a hooker getting paid $1,500 a night from a billionaire. And how does Sheena know everything? Why this story doesn't even make any sense. How would you know about Demi and Marciano, Sheena? I don't get it. And LVP calls and demanded to know, and Sheena refused. She's like, bitch, I owe you nothing. That was pretty much what Sheena says she told her. And LVP demanded, and Sheena said, I don't owe you anything. Well, Sheena, guess what? I'm sure this is helping sell your books. What a great timing for this. And I got nothing against you, girl, but give me a break. Traumatized by LVP. The Valley producers are manipulating. Did you see not this week, but the week before? Apparently, because I watched this on Peacock, but apparently Janet said on the episode after Nia was talking about her homelessness and everybody was worried about Dark Danny or Dark Side Danny, and he came out and he's a drinker and he went in the pantry and took a swig of tequila, warm tequila. Ah, the horror. And I just drank right out of the bottle as if that's the sign of an alcoholic. Apparently, Janet said, well, we all know Nia's an Al-Anon, Alcoholics Anonymous, and blah, 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 blah. She basically outed someone that's a big no-no when someone's in recovery. And Janet said that Nia was an Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's what she said on the show. It did come up in Watch What Happens as well. It came up. And apparently in Watch What Happens, I think she also mentioned Al-Anon, or we all know. And apparently by the time it went from NBA, by the time it went from Bravo to Peacock, the mention of Al-Anon was taken out. Interesting, right? Because I only watch it on Peacock, but I saw all these things written afterwards. And apparently on Watch What Happens Live, she brought this up, and then that was edited out. It was live on the East Coast. By the time it went to the West Coast, it was edited out. So the Valley producers are manipulating now the story. I understand why. I mean, that is, but everyone hates Janet. Just let us hate her. Just let us actually full on hate the woman, because outing someone in Al Anon is kind of a big deal. It kind of is for real. Who was it? Like Jax is in Alcoholics Anonymous and was trying to imply, like, again, you go in LA and I mean, I doubt your sponsor is like Brad fucking Pitt, but it was one of these things where Jax was implying it was like a Brad Pitt level and like, Robert Downey Jr., right? Like these people are in recovery, right? At least I think. Maybe I just outed them. I don't know. But I don't know for sure. So if they're not an Al-Anon, they're not. But Robert Downey Jr. So Jax was applying it with somebody like that. But regardless, the producers are trying to protect Janet and manipulate the story to all of you. I don't like deleted scenes. Producer manipulation, shame, 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 shame. Jesse's girlfriend, Jesse's girlfriend, Lacey Nicole, explained why she did not film. She explained that she had a horrific kidnapping when she was young or younger. She's 36 now, he's 45, and she said she positively and politely declined to film for a variety of personal reasons. I love that. I love when someone's like, I don't want to film. It shows that they're not a fame whore. It takes a lot of gumption and chutzpah to put yourself out there and show these moments. Last year, when they so graciously invited me on, I don't think I was there emotionally. She's being very nice. With my own mental health, she graciously turned it down. When she was in her early 20s, Lacey and her friend were kidnapped and spent one night as hostages. Ever since, her mental health and healing from trauma has been the forefront of her life. It was a horrific crime. We were taken by a gang of men, and the charges included human trafficking, kidnapping, and the intent of sodomy and rape, assault with a deadly weapon, burglary, carjacking, theft. There were 22 charges. Not having the tools to cope, swallowed it and became unwell. Seven autoimmune diseases and being put on a plethora of medications to help her exist. She testified in court, what she said was worse than the crime. The after effects of that kind boggle you. The testimony is when I really decided to start learning about why I was so unwell. She did an EMDR module talk therapy. It started to re-traumatize her. For me, it was really inner child work, which is another cliche, but revisiting the building blocks that made me into who I am and writing letters to younger me and grabbing my hand, even grabbing 20-year-old. You're okay. You're safe. You deserve to feel safe. You deserve to feel seen. You can validate yourself. PTSD, she can't go into movie theaters. I don't know what that has to do with it. Maybe in the dark, or if she was taken from a theater. She tries her hardest to avoid them. And physicians, this and that. So basically, she doesn't have any issue with anyone filming. She's been dragged in the mud, but she has PTSD. She actually looks like she's very pretty, very, very pretty. She likes Jesse. He must be treating her well. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I just got lost in my thoughts there. Oh, God. Oh, one last thing. Explosive Salt Lake City lawsuit. Then we have to go, you guys. Um, Let me just read this. Did you see this explosive RHOSLC lawsuit? Brittany Bateman, here I was saying, like, and I bet you Brittany is happy about this. I think she's such a fame whore. A lot of you guys like Brittany. Brittany Bateman is accused of stealing $100,000 from a sick relative only in Salt Lake. Didn't Mary's mother accuse her of stealing the church after claiming ex-husband drained her bank accounts? She's being accused of stealing $100,000 from a sick relative. It's a newly filed civil lawsuit against the 53-year-old. Sandra Underwood, 87, the mother of Brittany's ex-husband, this is the ex-husband, claims that after loaning Brittany the money in 2021, when she was really in need, the reality star won't pay her back, despite the fact that Sandra does not have efficient income to cover her living expenses and medical expenses. This woman's 87. Oh, this type of stuff breaks my heart. Brittany willfully, maliciously, and through intentional fraudulent contact also converted plaintiff's funds and now refuses to pay the funds. She might have got them in a fraudulent way, huh? Brittany used the $100,000 for her own personal benefit. Honey, it's expensive to be on reality TV. You have to buy all the outfits. Sandra added the funds to a trust which was set up by Brittany's father, which made Brittany as a trustee and beneficiary to make a profit on the sale of her former home. As Sandra alleged, Brittany urged her to do so with the understanding she could request it to be withdrawn at any time and it would be returned to her without objection. Sandra also added over 200,000. Oh, she added 200,000 more to the trust with the intention of building herself a home on Brittany's property. I hate crimes against older people. But after, especially when your mind starts to go, after Sandra's attorney fired off a letter to Brittany in March demanding the 100,000 in return, Brittany failed to respond. Oh, how convenient. In a letter, it stated Brittany implicitly agreed that Sandra was entitled to the money, and she said something to the effect of, I don't know why not. The attorney requested that Brittany, who was added to the Salt Lake cast in 24 season 5, have simple decency and morality to pay back. Yes, the 100,000, so Sandra will be able to live out her life in a semi-comfortable way. This actually breaks my heart. Meanwhile, as she flaunted her wealth on social media, it always gets you on social. Brittany claimed her bank accounts had been drained by her ex-husband, who cut her off. I mean, I don't, you should be cut off by your ex-husband if you're not married. In her complaint, it stated that Sandra wants the 100,000 back plus interest at the statutory. She wants interest. In other news, Brittany's been also accused John of being non-compliant. Okay, so we have another shocking Salt Lake lawsuit. In the response, Brittany and John. Okay, so there's other stuff going on too, but that's shocking. So TBD, is it playing out on this season? Not really. The season just ended, but interesting, right? So we have another shocking explosive RHOSLC lawsuit, and this could air out as the season goes on, and they could talk about it on Watch What Happens and all sorts of other things. So that's that. Hope you guys had a great Saturday. Hope you are enjoying Patreon. Tell your friends, tell your lovers, tell your mother and father, have a drink for me, have coffee. It's going to be a good weekend. And what should we cover next week? I love you guys dearly. Thanks for being here. Little Jersey, Little Valley.